Peace be upon you. So the other week during the Night of Destiny, we were reflecting on all the things that we need to be appreciative for. And it's interesting that how easy it is to overlook so many of the amazing blessings that God has provided for us in our day-to-day lives that it's so easy to just forget about, to look over. And we thought it would be great to do a podcast segment where we just pick an item, something that we do on a day-to-day basis or we interact with on a regular basis that we take for granted, and just try to be reflective and appreciative for the blessing that God has given us. And we know from the Quran that the more appreciative we are, the more God gives us. And there's also scientific evidence to show that the more appreciative a person is, the happier they are, and the richer and fuller lives that they live. So this week, for this podcast, we're going to try to do the topic of dental care or dental hygiene. And it's something that we take for granted every day. In the morning, in the night before we go to bed, we brush our teeth, and it's something that we do on a regular basis that it's so easy to overlook, to take for granted that we can walk into a grocery store or pharmacy and pick from this selection of different kinds of toothbrushes, mechanical toothbrushes, ones for kids, ones with unique designs, all the different varieties of toothpaste, ones for teeth whitening, ones with baking soda or scope or Listerine to make our breath smell better and taste better. And then all the varieties of different flosses. And I mean, you just name it, the list goes on and on. There's aisles full of just dental care products. And this wasn't always the case. I mean, up until the 1900s, the idea that people could keep their teeth healthy by removing plaque and food and stuff like that, that people can maintain the same teeth throughout their entire lives was unheard of. The common idea was the fact that everyone loses teeth. This is just part of the process, that eventually your teeth wear out and you lose them. And if you're lucky or wealthy, you'll replace them with just these horrendous, uncomfortable versions of dentures. One of the ideas is that a lot of people say that George Washington had wooden teeth, and the reality was that it wasn't wood, but what he did have was it was a combination of hippopotamus ivory, human teeth, and metal fasteners. And needless to say, this was documented to be incredibly painful, unsightly, and it wasn't very comfortable. And you think of this, just what a blessing it is to be able to bite into a nice juicy apple or a crisp piece of watermelon. And that joy you get from those flavors when you're able to bite into it with solid, clean, healthy teeth. And even when you bite into a potato chip, that mini sonic boom of those crackles that you get in your mouth. What an absolute blessing it is. What a great feeling it is to be able to do that comfortably, without pain, without discomfort. And in the dentures in the past, this wasn't an option. I mean, you just got to a point where you lost your teeth and you were limited what foods you'd eat, and needless to say, a lot of the pain that came with that process. And now, if you happen to lose your teeth, I mean, you can walk into a dentist and they'll give you the most amazing, artificial teeth that look absolutely natural, that feel great, that allow you to sustain all those joys, all those blessings from all the variety of different foods that you can bite into and enjoy. And even this concept of brushing our teeth, something that we do again every day that we just take for granted, that we can walk into a grocery store or pharmacy and pick up all these different varieties of toothpaste, ones that my kids like, ones that adults can do, ones that are, custom tailored for certain issues that people are having with their teeth that are more sensitive, or for teeth whitening, this and that. That in the past, this wasn't even an option. I mean, yet alone toothpaste. So during the times of the Romans, they used to use urine to clean their teeth. And that's because urine has a high concentration of ammonia, and ammonia was known to lift stains because they would use it for cleaning of clothes and this and that. And this is what they would use to brush their teeth, to clean their teeth. And you think that this gives morning breath a whole new meaning, right? It's something that the repulsive nature of just that thought, that this is the way that people used to live. This is a reason to be appreciative. And, because of the toothpaste and all the different tools that are readily available and perfectly designed to be able to, allow us to have good oral hygiene, in the past, as people's teeth started to decay, they would have a lot of oral, problems with their gums, their teeth, and who was who was around to extract teeth? It wasn't a dentist. The dentists of that time were either the barbers or the surgeons or the blacksmith. People who just worked with their hands. That they would basically put on a show to extract teeth. And back then there was no Novocaine, there was no numbing medicine. People had to endure all that extraction, that pain, that discomfort during the process. The drilling, this and that, and this was just a way of life. This was accepted. And you think about how many people's lives were snapped short because of infection or other kind of diseases of the mouth because they didn't have this good oral hygiene. And today you can walk into a dentist, and it's still dentists get a bad rap. But you think about the soothing music they have, the comfortable chairs, how they design the tools each year to get better and better, to be more comfortable, to be more convenient. When I was a kid, I had to wear braces, and it was painful to tighten your teeth, and your gums would get sore. And now they got Invisalign, these invisible braces that you can wear. You don't have to worry about food getting stuck in them in the same nature as they did with metal ones. No one even knows that you're wearing it, and how much of an absolute blessing that is. And it's one of these things that, again, we do this every single day. Every single day we're brushing our teeth. Every single day we're maintaining good hygiene. You go to a restaurant and there's toothpicks and this and that, and what an absolute blessing that is. And it's something that, it's so easy to take for granted. God willing, with these formats of podcasts, we can be reflective and be appreciative. And the more appreciative we are, the more God will give us in peace of mind and happiness and joy. And it's something that draws us closer to God. And God tells us in the Quran that if you try to count God's blessings, you would never be able to. That God's blessings are innumerable. They're infinite. And these are just some of the ones that, we have the technology, the understanding to be able to reflect upon and be appreciative. And going to end with a couple verses. 731, O children of Adam, you shall be clean and dress nicely when you go to the masjid, and eat and drink moderately. Surely he does not love the gluttons. 172, O you believe, eat from the good things we provided for you, and be thankful to God if you do worship him alone. So next time you bite into that apple, you bite into that crisp piece of watermelon or potato chip, you just be thankful to God for those amazing teeth that he's been able to give us through the technology, through the conveniences. And if you guys got any comments or questions, hit us up at QuranTalk@gmail.com or on Twitter at TalkQuran. And God willing, if you get a chance, listen to some of our other podcasts. This is kind of a different format, but inshallah, we're going to try to keep these up and sporadically do an appreciation podcast as well, because again, there isn't enough that we can be appreciative for. There's so much, so we could spend a lifetime and we'd never be able to cover everything. Until next time, peace and God bless.